okay, we know that the Rams added a running back. Let's go ahead and talk about it, all right? The Rams made a pretty big move this morning. I woke up, it's 5:15 Joe time out here in Colorado, and I saw this news almost immediately that the Rams had made a trade for running back Sony Michel from the New England Patriots. The Rams did trade 2 conditional late-round picks, and basically what we're looking at here is it is a 5th and a 6th round pick, but there is the conditional part of that is we're actually waiting to see on the compensatory pick that the Rams do receive from John Johnson, the safety that is now a Cleveland Brown. We are anticipating that we'll get a compensatory pick from this. I mean, that makes sense that we will, but basically what we're looking at here is if the Rams get a 4th round pick for John Johnson, that pick will go to the New England Patriots, and the Rams will retain their 5th and 6th rounders. This all but confirms that the Rams front office thinks the draft picks are for suckers, and we want to get rid of them as fast as we can. But we got a little bit of information on Sony Michel. He is former Georgia Bulldog for joining the former Georgia Bulldog and Matthew Stafford in the Rams backfield. He is 26 years old, won't be 27 for until the end of the season. He was a first-round pick, 31st overall in 2018. You guys might remember him in that 2018 season. He did end up getting a Super Bowl ring that year, unfortunately, because that was against the LA Rams, and he was in that Super Bowl the only player to score a touchdown. So maybe we got some. There's something there. Okay, like he scored on us in the Super Bowl. It's like, all right, we'll bring him in here. Let's have him score touchdowns in Super Bowls for us instead of against us. His career stats: he's got 535 carries, 2,292 yards. That is 4.3 yards per carry on average. Very solid average. And he's got 14 rushing touchdowns. Last year, he had just 79 carries, 449 yards. That would have been 3rd on the Rams roster as far as yards go. But he did average 5.7 yards per carry and did just have 1 touchdown last year. His receiving stats in his career: he's caught the football 26 times for 258 yards. That's a 9.9 yards per catch average in 1 touchdown. Last year, he did score that touchdown. He also only had 7 catches, but for 114 yards. That puts his average at 16.3 yards per catch. In the 2021 season, he will have a cap hit of just $1.7 million. So I know that we've kind of talked about the running back position. Of course, we talked about the running back position. It's been a pretty big one as far as the offseason topics go, especially since we've hit training camp, unfortunately, with the Cam Akers injury. Darrell Henderson leaving practice early with a thumb. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well. And then, of course, Raymond Calais as well, who was kind of slated to be a return guy and also maybe a backup back that could kind of come in here and there. But unfortunately, the Rams will not have access to him. So Sony Michel in with the Rams, and I guess initial reaction is like, hey, I don't hate it at all. It's not like he's going to be RB1. That is still going to be Darrell Henderson. But I like the way that we can now incorporate Sony Michel and his style, that like kind of a CJ Anderson kind of running style that Michel brings to the Rams. And I think that will pair really well with Darrell Henderson. What we also learned from Rams general manager Les Snead is that pretty early on after the Akers injury, they kind of targeted Michel as a guy that they would like to go after. And I don't necessarily think that this is super bad news for Xavier Jones or Jake Funk. I do think it's pretty bad news, though, for Otis Anderson Jr. I don't think that we'll see him retained on the roster. We'll talk about that when we get to our predictions, though. But that is it. Sony Michel, your brand new Los Angeles Ram. He is now here. We also do have a few cuts to talk about. There was an extra cut that was included because the Rams needed to get their roster down to 80. We did get 1 extra cut with the move to bring in Sony Michel. So like I said, Rams do receive Sony Michel, and right now it is a 5th and a 6th round pick that they have sent off to the New England Patriots, but that can turn into a 4th round pick depending on what the compensatory selection is for the Rams in exchange for losing safety John Johnson, who is one of the better safeties in the NFL.
Rams fans, it means the absolute world to me that you made it all the way to the end of the video. I do sincerely appreciate it. If you guys have not already, make sure you guys subscribe. That'll be on this side here. If you guys liked this clip, I guarantee you're going to like the entire show. So check that out on this side. Thank you. Go Rams!